When someone says, hey, it's in the cloud, so do we really ask an important question? Where exactly the cloud is? Is it something floating somewhere above us, or is it somewhere in the sky? That we don't know, right? And we hear the word quite often, like the Google Cloud, cloud computing, and someone says that, hey, we are processing our data into the cloud. Recently, we have migrated all the stuff to the cloud, download from the cloud. So lot of things just around the word cloud, right? So what this actually means here, for example, if someone says that, hey, we are processing the data into the cloud, so what does your data really being processed? I mean, where your data is really being processed? What are the system that is happening this process, right? So behind the word cloud, there exists the massive infrastructure, the massive facilities, the massive buildings which contains thousands of computers, and these facilities or these buildings, we call them as the data centers. Absolutely important. And whatever the things we create inside these data centers are called as resource, and this is what exactly we are going to cover as the part of this video. So we are going to see what data centers are, what are the resources, and how the data centers and these resources are interlinked or they are related. So let's explore all the things in detail throughout this video. And one more very important part, if you are really preparing for Google Cloud's professional data engineer certification exam, then understanding these basics becomes the prime importance before we move on to the advanced topics of the Google Cloud, especially the Google Cloud services precisely used for data processing services, right? So let's begin this video without wasting any time. Let's move on advanced concepts. All right, let's begin with understanding what the data centers are. So first, Google Cloud Data Center, these are large, high secure buildings. So these are large and highly secure buildings where Google keeps all its infrastructure. Okay, this infrastructure includes servers or thousands of servers. It could be hard disks, some networking equipment, cooling system, or security systems. Think of this as a huge ecosystem of Google's infrastructure. Okay, see, however you feel it easy, you come up with your own definition. Yep, so there is no a kind of 100% concrete definition. Just understand that a data center is just a physical location, or you can call it as a huge building where Google stores and run all the required infrastructure. Makes sense? So inside a single data centers, you can have thousands of servers working together, and you can have the disks, the security systems, what say, everything you will get in that data center. So let me go to Blackboard, and then you will understand conceptually what a data center is all about. Okay, so now let's think that, let me create a big area, and this is our Google Cloud Google Cloud platform or Google Cloud infrastructure. So this is a building. Just see that this is a big building, and in this building you will get thousands of servers. You will see the networking infrastructure, you will see the security infrastructure, you will see some storages, and so on. So this is what basically a data center is. So this is a huge building. Inside that building you will find all the things that is required to run your business. So you can also think of it like this as well. So Google owns the buildings and machines, and we buy it for rent whenever we need it. So this is Google building, and this is somewhere you are sitting at your home. Okay, and you want to use any of the resources. Where these resources are, these resources are located, these resources are located or situated in a place, and that place we call it as data center. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, then you will get 100% idea of what data centers are. Make sense? See, now you can see that The data centers of a typical Google something looks like this. Okay, so here you can see the huge building. Inside this building you can have thousands of servers or computers, and you can also see some networking aspects, you can also see some storage aspects. So these huge building or the ecosystem or the environment, this is called a Google Cloud data centers, and you will be using the infrastructure present in one of the data centers to run your business or to utilize any of the Google Cloud products or services. Make sense? So this is at the very beginner level. Means it's up to you. I have just given a very simple generic words to understand what data centers are. You are free to come up with your own idea and you yourself understand like how data centers are. So as a generic note, data centers are just a building. In that building, the Google has mounted all the resources or the infrastructure, and that infrastructure you will be using as and when you require. Okay, makes sense? Perfect. So next we'll understand what a resource is in Google Cloud. So in Google Cloud, what do we understand by a resource? Yeah, so you will definitely going to hear this word a lot when we talk about services like compute engine, BigQuery, say Dataflow or data prep or data proc and so on. So now the question arises, what exactly the resource means in Google Cloud? See, at a very generic level, you can call it as this. If something you use the Google Cloud infrastructure, then it is called a resource. Okay, the example would be you will be using the computers in Google Cloud, so the computer is one of the resource. You will be using storage in Google Cloud infrastructure, that storage becomes one resource. You will be using some BigQuery data set, and that data set become your resource. So whatever the things you use in Google Cloud, then that entity will become the resource. So the resources can also be categorized as compute resources, storage resources, ingestion resources, analytical resources, automation and orchestration resources, and security and management resources. These are not 100% mentioned in the documentation. I'm just putting these, I'm just making this category for your understanding purpose. Okay, there is no hardcore rule that compute resources means you have to use only data flow and all. I just want you to make the things easy at the beginner level. So that's the reason I have just created or segregated the resources based on the different usages. So in case of compute resources, this is computational work. If you want to perform computational work, then use this compute resources. If you want to store the data, then use storage resources. If you want to bring the data from your on premises to Google Cloud, use ingestion resources. We can have the analytics resources as well, like BigQuery, Looker, etc. And we have the automation and orchestration resources as well to manage pipelines and like Google Composer, workflows, and so on. So anything you create or use in Google Cloud is called a resource. Make sense? So in this video, we have learned two important aspects. That is, one is Google Cloud data centers and one is the resource. As simple as that. Okay. So I repeat again, I have made this slide or this content to make you become familiarized with the Google Cloud. Okay, this is not that technical. This content is just for your understanding. Okay, not technical or not authorized documentation. So let's go with the baby steps. Like I said, let's understand the concept or understand the things how exactly works. Then as we move further, we will become more and more into technical side. Make sense? I hope this is clear, and thanks for watching. And in the next session, we will be again seeing the important concept of what are regions and what are zones. That are absolutely important to understand the Google Cloud as a whole. Make sense? So if you have any doubts, you just put it in the comment section and just subscribe to this channel, because we will be coming with more and more such kind of videos which becomes easy for you to understand the things at high level at the beginning, at the beginner steps. Make sense? Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video soon, guys. Have a good day. Thank you.